This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
CBD is a game changer sweeping the nation. This hemp extract is the natural way to elevate your mood, eliminate aches and pains, reduce anxiety, and keep you sleeping all night long. It can even cut your workout recovery time in half. Get in the game today with 20% off all orders of CBD and lavender products from Lavender Lane, a lavender farm located right here in Milan, Michigan. Just go to lavenderlanemi.com today and enter coupon code Detroit for 20% off your entire order. Guys, look, these amazing products are infused with calming lavender to maximize their effectiveness, meaning your CBD items only take minutes to take effect, which is way quicker than those pills you were about to swallow. On top of it, they are perfect for men and women. Lavender Lane has lab-tested CBD creams, tinctures, and roll-ons that are perfect for any situation, even if you're on the go. Put your health back in your hands by heading over to lavenderlanemi.com and entering coupon code Detroit for 20% off your entire order of CBD and lavender products. What do you have to lose? Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. So if you need lavender gifts for your loved ones or just looking for the natural way to ease your discomfort with CBD, go to lavenderlanemi.com and use coupon code Detroit to unlock these miraculous benefits of CBD and lavender. That's lavenderlanemi.com. And remember, use coupon code DETROIT for 20% off your CBD and lavender products from Michigan's own Lavender Lane.
I was trying to get it high live. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up, head spin, get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get down. I don't get it. I don't get down. I don't get it. I don't get tired. Get fly. I got 6 jobs.
And we are still not tired on this week's episode of Two Bad Hombres. I am your host, Vito Geronimo Church, alongside my usual sidekick and broadcast partner in fun. That is the Doc from Doc and Jock, John Charles Macaroon. John, it's been a long time for you and I to talk in studio here for an edition of Two Bad Hombres. How are you doing?
Welcome, everybody, to the weekend. Man, this fall has gone by so fast, and that's why Vito and I haven't connected so much on the Two Bad Hombres podcast, but now we're here. We are recording this fine episode. You see now that the studio has been modified slightly. I got my Magic Johnson signed jersey over your shoulder. I upgraded the mics a little bit here. Look, when you work with Maven and Sports Illustrated, some dollars come rolling in, and we worked hard. I want to give you credit for the work that you did this fall. You completely edited the site, and you were definitely somebody that I wanted to be part of the SI Lions Maven project. You came on board. You were like, oh, God, what am I getting myself into? Working with John is going to be a nightmare. But you looked at the site. You paid attention to it. You cared about it. You busted your butt. We posted over 1,000 articles, maybe a couple question marks that you may have had along the way. But we did good work. We reported on the Lions, broke news. And the best part about covering the Lions is the fact that we got loyal readership and people now that realize, wow, these guys are working hard. We put out content each and every single day. You wrote great articles that got filtered into the questions I got to ask Matt Patricia, and they were, they provided great answers for us to write about. So all in all, this fall has been epic, and 2019 will go down as one of the best years for the podcast, best years for you. I see you repping the Adidas gear and the Legacy
gear. And a new company I'm working for in Legacy out there in Brighton. Got to go drive all the way out there later today. But I am glad, John, to see that you finally invested in me, Big V. And in this studio, this lovely big black mic. I've always wanted a bigger black mic. I finally have it right here, and it's a beautiful thing to look at and to speak through to all of you on this week's episode of Two Bad Hombres.
And true to form, true to your brand, you showed up definitely early to get paid.
I did, because I know I'm getting paid. I'm finally collecting a paycheck. It's been a long time coming for this latest paycheck I'm about to receive today, courtesy of John Charles Macaroon. And so I think it was deserving of it, too. Just a little bit deserving, based on what you said about the SI Lions Maven website as well.
And on brand to the bosses, we always pay late. We always want the work, and we want to pay later. That's how it always is.
That's the logic behind a lot of bosses, unfortunately, in 2019. Guess what? I'm going to make a bold prediction. It's not bold, by the way. It's going to be the same kind of logic from bosses, including yourself, in 2020 and beyond. If I keep working here at the DSP network, which, hey, you keep investing in Big V, John Charles Macaroon, and you've got me for a longer period of time. I'll leave it at that. Now, I want to get to this really quick. Now, I think you've talked about it ad nauseum, and we have on the SI Lions Maven website, but giving a longer leash to Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, how much longer are they going to be around? Well, at least for 2020. I just hope to God not for any longer than that, John.
Well, I do want to ask you, too, because you now work in PR. You are working, you have expanded your reach in the work that you're doing. So you're not only writing, you're editing, you're podcasting, you're doing good things, you're listening to what we're saying, and you're branching out and doing a bunch of things. I can't wait to ask you about the letter that they wrote, because it seemed like it was taken by fans as a complete sign of disrespect. And I don't think that was the intended message they wanted to deliver with that letter. But with the Lions, look, at the end of the day, people told us, and when you read between the tea leaves, that, look, Patricia and Quinn weren't going anywhere. Because I know it's easy to spew out narratives and to say that, hey, injuries happen to all teams. Well, yeah, they do. But at the end of the day, this is the Lions. And when you lose Matthew Stafford, it's what we all wanted. If you want to tank and officially get a high draft pick, this is what you do. So it just seems like on the side of the people that are angry at the Lions, look, they lost Stafford. This is great. As long as they don't win against Denver and the Packers, they earn a top 3-4 pick. This is what tanking is. You can't be on both sides of the fence and say, oh my God, the Lions should lose out and tank. And then when they actually start doing it, then get all mad. I'm not mad at the Lions. I definitely understand those that are hypercritical of Matt Patricia because his defense, his scheme is bunk. It's whack. The incarnation that he brought here is terrible. It's awful. It's like using a microphone that has a bunch of static, and you're just like, I thought you guys were the best microphone company in the world, and you deliver a microphone that we can't use or anything like that. Or when now I invest in a new microphone and you come in and you go, damn, Doc, it sounds worse. That'd be miserable for me. I'd be like, what the hell? No, I brought in a nice microphone that is known to be a podcast mic that has a great reputation, looks sleek, looks nice. I wanted it to, for you and Adam to use it, and maybe I'll get one more for myself, but I like the way I sound on this mic. So at the end of the day, Matt Patricia is a defensive quote-unquote guru, and we have not seen any signs
of so laughable. Really, you can just start laughing about that, too. The opposite of a defensive guru.
It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm saying probably odds on, if we were to write a piece, the likelihood is they're going to blow everybody out next year. I don't see the team going from 3 wins to the postseason.
Well, to what? Martha Ford came out in that letter right to the media, and she said she wants them to be postseason contenders. What does that equate to? What does that constitute? 8-8, 9-7? That's good enough, Martha? That's good enough, Martha, for Patricia and Quinn to keep their jobs after 2020? Come on, man. I mean, if that's success to you, you've got an issue. The Lions have even a bigger issue, but it goes back to this. The same old Lions. They've been operating with this mindset for years and years. Since the Fords took over, I believe in 1956 they took over, something like that, long time ago. They've been the owners since and been running this franchise into the ground. And they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere positive right now. They're not moving in the right direction. They're not developing anything. They're not. There's no substance there with Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. They've built diddly squat. Bob Quinn has put this franchise into the dirt and back further than it already was before he took over. At this point, as a team, since Matt Patricia took over as head man, has regressed. 6 wins last year, and last year would have been all right if you took a step forward this season and won your 9 games, let's say. But you've regressed even from a year ago, and you weren't good last season. And now you're a 3-win team, and it looks like that's all you're going to win. You're 3-10-1 right now with that one tie that should have never been a tie, should have been a dub in week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals. And then you were 2-0-1 to start off the season, 1 win since. But what a tease. It's like a girl teasing you. I've been teased many times, and the Lions have teased me as well my entire life.
And, man, against the Buccaneers, did you see the fan reaction, the bags over the head, the big banner? I can't believe the D-line crew actually was able to get that into the building, and Fox caught it at the exact right time. A missed field goal. They're standing right behind the uprights there. It's a missed field goal, and bam, what do you see? A huge D-line banner that says "Sell the team," And that banner is available for sale. You can go get it. And it made national news. Everybody followed. I mean, did you see the SI photos from USA Today that were available that had We Deserve Better, the bags over their heads? You've seen. You go on the photo site. You see what the photographers were able to capture. Against the Bucks, you saw the outcry, the outpouring of disdain, frustration that the fans have. And good for them. I think that the fans definitely should have an outcry because you can't talk about the Lions without talking about their history. And you can never use the word patience right now with the Lions. I mean, at the end of the day, coaches turn things around rather quickly in the NFL if you have talent. Okay? Yeah, injuries do happen, but at the end of the day, that was on the other side of the ball. If Matt Patricia was coming here to build a defense, then the system in year 2 should kind of look like, okay, this is our staple. This is what we can see. And unfortunately, a lot of people went hurt. And again, the tough part is that the narrative that maybe will not go away throughout Patricia's tenure is how do the players actually feel about him? Because he does yell at them. It's quite obvious. Trey Flowers kind of hinted at it and said, look, I don't really listen to how he's delivering it. I just listen to the words. And a guy like Trey Flowers can take it. But in 2019, can you get 40 guys that are going to want a coach to just yell at them and say, hey, you're not doing this right and that and right? You can tell a guy like Darius Slay just has totally, in terms of his relationship with coaches, just kind of is there. He knows he has his talent. He does his work, but you can tell he's not invested in it. You can tell, like, he's talking about his paycheck. He's talking, when he was asked about Matt Patricia coming back, he's like, I'm confused. I thought, coaches had their contracts and he was going to be back. I never knew there was a question. He knows that there's rumors and things like that. Obviously, Quandre's told him, your coach is bunk. Look what I got now. Because Quandre has another variable to measure against. He's at a winning program that has, multiple wins, double-digit wins this year, and he's on the verge of preparing for the playoffs. He's probably like, he's texting him right now going, Darius, find a way to get your ass out of there. Find your way, yeah, the money's good, but you will never win there. And you just realize that the players in the locker room, for the most part, buy in because they have to. It's their job. They're talking about their boss. But when they leave, they're rather quick to dial up podcasts and be like, this guy sucks, So all in all, the whole situation with the Lions is disorganized, it's chaotic, and it doesn't lend right now to fans being confident. I mean, if you go on the Lions Twitter page and you see some of the replies, all over sell the team, all over this sucks, and I think ticket sales are going to be drastically affected by the fact that, okay, the Lions had this hidden secret meeting with reporters. They try and get their message out. They debunk some rumors regarding the potential sale of the franchise. And then a couple days later, they released a letter that you and I kind of found to be quite similar to a letter they wrote and released a couple years ago. And you and I are like, this doesn't sound original. The content in the letter doesn't lend to fans going, yeah, I'm on board. It lends to them going, oh, God, playoff contention. Come on.
What does that mean once again? What does it constitute, John? So is 8-8 good enough? 9-7 good enough? You got to be kidding me. And it might be with the Forwards and how they run this team. It might be good enough for them.
But at the end of the day, the beat writers said that, yeah, it's playoff or bust. They believe, based on the tenor and the tone of the meeting, because it was called on background. They couldn't record what was being said in their meeting. It was basically they could selectively take notes from what Martha and Sheila and Rod Wood were saying. They could not record it. So that's what it's called, on background, for those that don't know. I learned about it when I was reading about it, because I'm like, yeah, the quotes kind of seem limited, and it doesn't seem like a lot was released, because that's how the Forwards wanted it. They wanted to just put out a message in that manner, and that's fine. No problems with it. I respect the fact that they invited those that travel, that pay good money to travel with the Lions, because, honestly, I don't even know if I could take money out of my pocket and travel to cover the Lions, to be quite fair and quite honest.
At this point? What, 3-10-1 It's not worth it to go out there and cover them and spend your own money on that franchise right now.
It would hurt all the way around to travel. So, look, when you do stuff like that and you're a traveling beat writer, you deserve a little extra perk. So, no, I have no problem with that. I wasn't beefing going, oh, my God, they didn't invite SI Lions Maven. But at the same time, when you look at the letter, the word that people want to use is championships, Lombardi Trophy, Super Bowls. The fan base is hungry for owners that are willing and, out there to do anything to win. Saying that, well, if they go 10-6 and something happens, they don't make the postseason. No, it's, they should have been out there right up in front and say, this season's been a disappointment. If this organization is not in the postseason in 2020, we will make drastic changes. That's all you have to say. And you get everybody back on board, and you let everybody know that our vision, our goal is not to be in playoff contention year 3, year 4, 5 of Bob Quinn. That's not the goal.
It's not college, too.
Exactly.
It's different. This is the NFL. Higher expectations. You're held to higher standards. I mean, so after year number 2, really, this year should have been a better season. You don't get 3, 4, 5 years. There's no way. And if this team doesn't make the playoffs next year, there's no way they should keep their jobs, Quinn or Patricia. And that's what it's come down to for me. And I think a lot of Lions fans, and they're disgusted, and rightfully so. And here's a problem like you were getting at, John. When these guys talk, Matt Patricia, when Martha Ford, when Sheila, when Rod Wood, when Matthew Stafford talk, John, it doesn't sound like they're highly motivated to win. They're very dull. There's no fire. There's no passion in them. So even if deep down they really want to turn around this franchise and win, and sooner than later, John, how they talk and approach things gives off the vibe and the negative perception that realistically they don't care very much about turning around the franchise and starting to win.
And I think that's where the disconnect happens, is whether or not they truly care or not. It wasn't delivered. It wasn't conveyed that way.
It wasn't conveyed. That's the thing. It's the PR side of it, right?
And now, perception is reality.
It really is at this point, huh? In many ways, we have found out over the last, 4.5 months now, I would say.
Yeah, and it's really great. And I do believe that having the SI name next to you definitely gives you a certain level of prestige and things like that. But at the same time, the best part about this job and the best part about working with you is we have complete editorial control. You and I debate it. You and I go back and forth about what to talk about. Nobody else. And that's all I want. And what better way to cover the Lions when you have complete editorial control? And obviously, some will be like, what the hell are you using your influence for? And things like that. Well, at the end of the day, you want some influence? Grow a following and see what happens with it, and that's the way it is. When you look at it all the way across the board, perception is reality. And when the Lions put out a statement and the intended consequences to ease the nerves of the fans, to explain why the season's bad, and the outcry of hatred and looking at that letter going, this letter sucks. You had radio stations playing soft music and laughing over it and reading it and going and telling jokes over it and just saying that this is silly, this is ridiculous. You know why? Vito, they put in there the excuses that they made that, we were close. We were 3-4-1, and we had, growth this year and things like that. What growth did you have?
I said they weren't good with Stafford, even with Stafford healthy.
Yeah.
So you got hurt. Sure, that's your excuse. You can't use that as a legit excuse. And how about the defense? Right, John? Back to that. The defense has regressed. Defense really wasn't that great last year, but in the second half of the year, it did pick up and was more productive. This year, horrible. All season long. Aren't they on pace for the worst season in franchise history as a defense collectively? And your head man is a defensive guru, a so-called defensive genius. He's no genius. He's the complete opposite. Opposite of that is how I look at it right now, John, with how the defense has played throughout this season as a whole.
So, our best prediction, 12 months from now, it's going to look like a complete overhaul. Quinn gone, Patricia gone. What, to play a game of Big Vito's over-under, 60%. What odds do you give the Detroit Lions of bringing back this regime again in 2021?
Way below 60%. I'm going to say 20% odds of them being retained for 2021. Because I think they got to win 10 games. 10 games, make the playoffs, at least be a wild card team. And you need 10 to be a wild card team.
Yeah.
Are they really going to flip the switch that much and win 10 games next season? I mean, what hope do you have for next year? There is no hope that they've developed something productively and can win next year now.
65% more wins next year with a healthy Matthew Stafford. I like the offensive side. I like Stafford returning. I like the combination of Scarborough and Johnson, maybe add in a draft pick. Maybe, the question mark that people have is now, because of the fact that they came out and said it's win now, maybe Quinn and Patricia are going to take some risks with some of that money, are going to have to draft players that are going to be ready-made and ready to go now. So some people could even criticize and saying by them saying that it could change the course of the long-term trajectory of the franchise.
Ruin it even further, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it's a tough business, the football business, but the Lions have never had success. So everyone's hypercritical and things like that. And even people have taken lowbrow shots at Martha. This is an elderly
93, 94 years old.
No, at the end of the day, it's going to be Sheila and her husband that are going to be running it, and it's going to be a group. And I do think that they definitely want to win. And the age-old adage is they just don't know how to win, Vito. They just don't. They don't even know how to release a letter properly. And if you were to write the letter, you would have put, we are dedicated to bringing a championship to the great fans of the Lions. We know we took a step backwards, but we will not ever settle for anything less than excellence here for the Detroit Lions. Give me one paragraph. We are committed to excellence here. Going forward, this regime, our Detroit Lion football team will be excellent one day, and we will strive night and day to achieve those goals of bringing a Super Bowl here to Detroit, whether it be through Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia or anybody else with knowledge and passion about the game of football. We will bring a championship here, and we will fight, and we will work hard night and day to bring that here to Detroit. Thank you for supporting us. We look forward to a new chapter in 2020.
You are brilliant. PR guru. Hire him as a PR guy now. He writes for a Sports Illustrated affiliated website. He's a PR guru, a podcasting machine and genius. I mean, you do so much, John. You do so much so darn well. You're a great husband at home. Your wife loves you. Your kids love you.
I have a question.
What can you do? You don't do anything wrong, man.
Before we switch gears to our last topic where we can share another laugh with somebody that answered a question for the Wolverines in a manner that I think set the internet on fire, we'll talk about that real quick here. Would you say I'm credible?
It's tough to get that out of me. I can't even say it. I can't even say it with a straight face. Are you credible?
Am I?
We've built. You have individually. I'm not gonna say we. I'm not gonna put myself in that equation with you. Okay, I don't want to throw myself on the same boat as you right now. Okay, and sail it along with you. So you've built up your credibility.
Okay.
Throughout this season. Now, where's your credibility at on a scale of 1 to 10? It might be like 4.5. Okay, but it was at 0.
Okay,
0.0000000.
Good.
So you've built it up at least. I'll give you that much here.
I like how you were like, oh, I got to answer.
I couldn't say. I didn't have anything to say.
Okay, how do I go from a 4.5 to like a 7?
Well, you got to break some big stories, and I guess with my help, because I got to edit your stuff too. My God.
Well, I got
editing that crap takes a lot of my time too, man. But
obviously one, but stories are hard to come by because all information's filtered through the big guys. I mean,
I know you don't get it. You get the scraps. You get the scraps thrown at you, right? Then you're like a dog. You're like a dog. You got to eat the scraps off the ground. That's what you are right now, man.
You're like one of those fans that's like, how come Adam Schefter gets all the news? Why? Because he has a huge following and the organization just texts him. It's not that hard.
He works for ESPN too, by the way. And he knows everybody. Once you work in the industry for 10 plus years, 20 years like he has, well, you're going to have all these different sources. And we have a couple. We have a couple sources. We need more, though. And we'll keep growing that as time goes on here. And you'll build up your credibility subsequently, too, John.
Gotcha. So I'm at 4.5. I got to work with you. But obviously, you've read and looked at a lot of the content. You're like, okay, this is stuff that people would like to read. You've looked
and people have been reading.
Yeah.
We've grown the site. The site was nowhere without us. Not to toot our own horns. I know we sound very cocky right now, but the site has grown from zero, from the ground up. We have built it up. Now it just takes more building as time goes on, and it's going to be a heavy-duty offseason. A lot of speculation about who they're going to target. Well, what pick are they going to have in the draft? At least number 5 overall, it looks like, according to many people right now that are speculating about it. But they could rise up to number 2 overall in the 2020 NFL Draft, subsequently take, hopefully, Ohio State defensive end Chase Young. But there is this side of it, too. So what if Chase Young is taken number 1 overall? Do the Lions take LSU Heisman-winning QB Joe Burrow at number 2? They should. I don't think they will, John.
They can't.
And that's where this organization is so faulty.
And watch
it's
what
so
happens.
Messed up, man.
Watch what happens. They pass on Joe Burrow. They get a defender. They get Derek Brown, or they get somebody else. They
Akuda, the cornerback from Ohio State, who should not be taken there. I like him, but should not be taken there.
And then Joe Burrow is the next Peyton Manning.
That's what I mean. And Stafford's, he's got a debilitating back issue. How much longer is he going to stay healthy and play in the NFL, John? We don't know. It might not be past 2020, and they would actually take that risk and not draft Burrow. I really believe it, because this franchise is so messed up and dysfunctional, John, at this point. They're not going to do the right thing and take Burrow. They're going to pass up on him, and he's going to just become this Peyton Manning-esque quarterback. I really, really believe it, but it's true. I think it's true at this point with the state of the Lions franchise.
Good 20-minute line talk. Kind of, it feels good, too.
Feels good to get it off our chest, man. Nice little rant there.
How do you like the mic? You like it? Good purchase good addition to the good investment?
I think so. A smart investment so far. So, you know what? I think I'm going to stay on board for 2020. Okay? I'll give you that much. I think you already thought that, but I was just stating the obvious there, I guess, in so many words, right?
Yeah, I was talking to Adam, and we were like, yeah, kind of Vito's like the Darius Slay of our project. Getting a little older. I don't know if he's as spry. I don't know if he's as motivated. He's got his money. He feels good. He's got his titles. He's branching out. Do we keep him on board? And Adam's like, yeah, we're still in win now mode. The Free Press, News, M Live, all these podcast networks are trying to get into the game. We got to keep him around. So you're like our Darius Slay. We're just keeping you around, even though we might not really need you.
So even though I'm disgruntled, and I am a disgruntled employee. Hey, you've heard me off the air. And by the way, I'll say it on the air. I am very disgruntled. I'm working paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. And that's all I care about. I don't care about the wins and all the success at this point.
Exactly. Vito's like, I don't even know when John's recording. Oh, yeah, this is Too Bad Hombres Day, Saturday.
Don't even know which podcast this is at this point. But hey, I'm recording Too Bad Hombres, I guess.
Vito doesn't put in his schedule Saturday podcast. He puts Saturday pickup check.
Pickup check day, baby. That's all I care about. It's a holiday season. Yeah. That's all I care about getting paid. I don't
know if I asked you, dude. For some reason, I loved what Darius Slay said, where he was like, "Direct deposit, baby, Thursdays. It's a good day." He was like, "I can brush off criticism easily. When that Thursday comes, 700 G's comes in 17 times a week. 17 times a season. He gets 700 G's plus direct deposit to his bank. He's like." I'm rich. I'm a millionaire. Why would I care? So it was just a clip that when it was released, I was there live filming it. I almost laughed. I almost just laughed out loud and said, he really said that. And he told what day they get paid, how they get paid, and the media was just jumping all over it. So he's a great quote. He was one of the bright spots for me being in that locker room. It was great. Overall, the experience was great. We'll recap more of it once the season officially ends. We got one more game on the road versus Denver, and then we're going to come back home the final week of the season and then play the Packers.
To get annihilated by the Packers.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. We got about 5 minutes left before our time's up here on this great episode of Two Bad Hombres, which you can find anywhere. Any podcast that we air on the Detroit Sports Podcast Network, you can find where you play your favorite podcast, whether it be Podomatic, Stitcher, Apple. You can go directly to our website, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. The easiest thing to do is go to the podcast app, via your iPhone, download, subscribe, leave a review, and then when a new show drops, it just shows up right to your phone. The easy method to get all the content here at the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. We've been going strong since 2013. And look, at the end of the day, wherever this thing goes with SI Lions Maven, a podcast started in my basement, got to work our way up to write and produce content for Sports Illustrated Lions Maven. Good stuff. All right, one last thing. As sports fans, we definitely always just kind of browse the internet and things like that and check out the competition. And obviously some of the reason why Michigan fans are a little bit disgruntled is that the media puts out information regarding Michigan that's just so off the wall. Now I think Michigan consumers don't want to hear it. On Friday, I'm scrolling through and I start to see this post that's getting a lot of traction. I'm looking and I'm reading it. I see a lot of the retweets. I see it's a friend of the podcast, Isaiah Hull, somebody that's participated in your charity game. He's part of a similar group for Michigan coverage, part of
USA
Michigan Wire.
Today, right?
Michigan Wire. Mm-hmm. So what he does is he covers Michigan for USA Today. Great. But he's prone to put out content like that where Khaleke Hudson is asked, what's going on with the stuff with Ohio State? And Khaleke Hudson says, which was classic, which I think upset everybody, that it's not a situation where Ohio State has so much more talent. He, in fact, believes that Michigan has more talent than Ohio State. And I think when he said those words, you already put in the books. Those words have been already recorded, locked up, and are going to be replayed for a million billion times for Ohio State in that locker room. Khaleke Hudson, Vito, Michigan guy, who made mistakes in the last game, who made some critical errors in the contest, comes out and he says Michigan has more talent than Ohio State. What's your reaction to that?
Blasphemous. Okay? Asinine. And was that a subtle shot at his head coach at U of M, Jim Harbaugh? I believe it might have been. But if he really believes it and has a sane mind and believes it, God, that's an asinine opinion to have. Has a right to it. Okay, he does. And he's probably protecting his teammates. But, God, man, you can't tout up the program like that right now and say you have more talent than Ohio State, a behemoth like Ohio State. Come on, man. It is not believable. It's an asinine opinion, and it's blasphemous. Not to take something from Stephen A. Smith, Screaming A. Smith, and I like to call him at ESPN, but it seems like that to me, that this is a take it wasn't worth saying. And it might have been, like I said, I really believe it might have been a subtle shot at his head coach at U of M, Jim Harbaugh.
How was it received by you, and why do you think Michigan fans kind of looked at that and said, let's scoff at this?
It was laughable. That's why. Simple as that. You got blown out by OSU 2 straight years. Game's not even close. A year ago, 62 points you allowed. 50-something this year. Blown out. And you didn't even have a shot in that game. I mean, I know you started off pretty well, okay? And last year you did fairly well to start off on the road in Ohio. But you weren't in those 2 games. Then you're going to come out and actually state to the masses that your talent on the field better than OSU's. You got to be kidding me, man. Got to be straight up kidding me.
Why do you think they say that? Like, why do you think... Okay, obviously, he doesn't come out and say this unprovoked. He's asked. Why don't you just say, look, Ohio State right now is the behemoth in the Big Ten. We got to work night and day. We got to work hard to get on their level. Look, why is it... And I think some people...
But was it a subtle shot? I don't think he even intended it. Well, perhaps he did. Perhaps he didn't. I don't know what to believe, really. I said it might have been. Who knows? And it could have been that, John. What do you think? Was it a subtle shot at Jim Harbaugh? Like I said. Or did it just, you know what? He didn't intend it, but now it's out there, like you said, to consume. Everybody has consumed it, and it's going to live forever. It's not going away. Khaleke Hudson has to own up to this comment for the rest of his life, realistically.
See, the thing is that some people have speculated and said that when you arrive at Michigan, you're told you've arrived. And it's this mindset that maybe is permeating the football program that is really toxic and not well. I don't believe that to be the case. I do believe that the program is instilling hard work, whereas in Ohio State, when you arrive on campus, they tell you, look, get to work or we're going to find somebody else better. I just think that with Michigan, the athletes have to do a better job of really framing things in a way that's, respectful to Ohio State. Your coaches own 5 against Ohio State. They are the class of the program, and you can still bestow respect upon Ohio State and still have and maintain respect for yourself as a program, okay? Because the proof's in the pudding. The fans don't believe anymore. The fans are off the bandwagon. So at the end of the day, Vito, thumbs down on Khaleke Hudson and the manner in which he responded. He responded to that question. Terrible. I think that's probably one of the worst responses of the year to a question, because you've just now reignited Ohio State's passion for the next year. You don't have enough goods. And look, what happened? Early recruiting day happens. Number 1, Ohio State, 2, Michigan. And that's just how it's always going to be at the end of the day. But when you're asked that question, the simple answer is, look, Ohio State is a giant. They're the class of the Big Ten. We got to work our asses off this offseason, and we're going to do that. That's all you got to say. It's so easy to not put your foot in your mouth and compare yourself to Ohio State.
But remember, he's a younger dude. But here's the thing, too. Is it because they're your rival and your arch nemesis that you can't give them any love whatsoever? And, you don't have to shower them with love, but you got to show them respect. And not necessarily shower them with respect either, but you got to show them respect for the team, the program that they have built up there in Ohio. It's a much better program right now, as it currently stands in comparison to U of M. And truly, there is no comparison. There is no true rivalry in the sense of Ohio State killing Michigan year in, year out, owning this rivalry, so-called rivalry, over the last decade plus. So Ohio State is the daddy. Michigan has to own up and call Ohio State daddy truly at this point. And when you come out and say what Khaleke Hudson did, even if he did not intend to do so, he made it sound like if he really believes the talent is there and better than Ohio State, then you believe the gap in coaching is extremely severe. Think about that, what he has done for himself and for that program moving forward. And you made a good point too, John. It's extra ammo and motivation for OSU a year from now in that rivalry game next season.
Make sure you go and follow Vito on Twitter at Vito Jerome. Follow the show at Detroit Podcast. If you agree or disagree, if anything that we've said kind of hits you the wrong way, feel free. We'll read it. Definitely. We accept critique. We'll discuss it. We'll debate it. We don't shy away from it. And that's what makes this project super fun. Great podcast recording, Vito. If this is the last recording that you and I do in studio this year, it's been a great ride. Like I said, like I tell people that contribute to the site, you're my right-hand guy. Are you perfect? Hell no.
Hell no. Are you perfect? Hell no.
You're working for a 4.5. We're trying to get we're trying to get this to a 7. So the best part of working with this is the banter that you and I have. I'm proud to cut you a check to work for SI Lines Maven and the podcast, and that's what we'll keep doing. Is that you actually the best part of this is that you reached out and created your own job. You said, "Hey, I want to be a part of it," and I think you're still one of the few people that has reached out and said, "Hey, I want to be a part of it," and then delivered. And almost 4 or 5 years strong. We should celebrate, but it's not in the budget.
Not in the budget. I've heard that one before. And I'll keep hearing that in 2020. I know that much too.
As I roll up in new cars and new microphones.
New vehicle, new mic. How do you afford this one?
Exactly.
Where'd that money come from? It didn't go to me. So.
You want to take a buyout?
Is it big money? I'll be out of here. I'll be running out of this studio today.
All right. For Vito, Jerome Churko, I am John Macaroon. Thank you guys for listening to the Detroit Sports Podcast. Peace.
Adios. Merry Christmas as well.